What is up? Welcome back to the channel. This is the fan Awakens. I want to thank you all for coming in and joining me for this trailer breakdown. This is my first trailer breakdown I've done, so bear with me. This is going to be a process, but I am excited. I think that if I'm going to do a trailer breakdown as my first one, this is the one, because this is the movie, you know? If anyone who knows me knows that I've watched The Force Awakens probably more than any other film in history. I've watched it probably well over 5 times. We've tried to do the math, and we've tried to break it down, but it is tough to get an exact number. But it is in the hundreds easily. So, The Rise of Skywalker, J.J. Abrams coming back, my excitement is at 15 out of 10. You know, this is the movie to end all movies for me, and I am so excited for the final trailer. I've seen it about 200 times, but as the mantra is, candid takes on cinema by fans for fans, and so this isn't scripted, this isn't planned out. I just figured I'd kind of go through the trailer and note on everything that I kind of took away from it. And you guys can chime in. Feel free to comment. Add me on Instagram. I'm at ELYLOREN, ELYLO_Ren. I'm always welcome to chat in the DMs or in the comments or whatever the case may be about Star Wars or anything movie related. So don't hesitate there. But without further ado, I think it's time to get into this thing, and let's see how this thing goes. So we're gonna start out. Now this planet here, first off, you have the helmet fall. That looks... Now, I'm not sure. That looks like it could be... We're going to go back to that. It could be one of the helmets, because this could be Endor. I think there's a decent chance that this here is Endor, and I think that helmet could be one that Luke or Leia wore in the episode 6 when they were riding the speeder bikes. But I also think that it looks like it has some sort of retractable visor, which would lead me to believe that it is a training helmet, similar to what Luke wore in episode 4 that started us all off, because she's going with one of the remote droids that Luke trained with, and we've seen Jedi train with it in almost every iteration of this franchise, be it prequels, sequels, not sequels yet, but we've seen it in the sequels on the Falcon. But I think that this is her training with Leia. I think Leia's guiding her through this, and she's just doing what she does, you know? It's been a couple of years since episode 8. We know that, so she's definitely made some leaps and bounds as far as her abilities, which they literally show right here.
It's an instinct.
It's clearly on the Death Star, I think.
Feeling.
Finn.
The Force brought us together.
That right there, that's a big one. So this whole trailer starts out with Finn saying it's an instinct of feeling. It's what brought us, the Force is what brought us together, which leads me to believe that I have been saying for a long time now that I think Finn is going to use the Force, and I think he is going to be a Force user, which is so cool. I think that he's almost owed it after... I do enjoy episode 8, I'll get that out of the way, but I do think that his role was just so muted and so toned down. His character was changed, and I think JJ coming into this knows that, and he knows a lot of fans want more from Finn going into 9. And so I think that there's a good chance that Finn picks up a lightsaber once again, but as a Force user. Yes, unrefined, but similar to Rey in episode 7. Will he be as powerful as Rey? Probably not. But I do think that there will be a big moment in this film where Finn realizes that he is destined for more than he thought. Starting out as just a stormtrooper, but he's a Force user. I think Rey will guide him a little bit in this film, leading us to a big grand exit, you know, all happy, and she's going to train. He's going to be at her side. Think of it as a Yoda and Mace Windu situation, but Rey and Finn, imagine 15 years, they come back, John Boyega's 15 years older, Daisy Ridley's 15 years older, and they do Star Wars Episode 10, people are going to go nuts. And they're both Jedi, it'd be crazy. I'd love it. And John Boyega, he's so passionate. So it could be Endor, but...
We're not alone.
Alright, next shot we got here. This is a really cool shot because it reminds me of classic Star Wars. You have all the people around at the table. It seems like this is the last hurrah. We get in all the Star Wars movies, you know, before they go make the Death Star run, before they go for this attack on Starkiller Base. They're all meeting around a table. You have Poe. You have Finn. Well, actually, I don't know if Finn's there. You have Lando very clearly right there, sitting down, enjoying himself. I think he's deserved a seat by this point, making it through the galaxy for this many years. But you also have Greg Grunberg, who plays Snap Wexley in Episode 7. Small character, but very important. You can see more of him in the Aftermath novels. But he's in this. He went on Twitter and circled himself out. It's just the back of his head. But it's cool to see Snap is back in the fight. I also think that there's a good chance... Not Snap. I keep saying Snap. Wait, no, Snap. Yeah, Snap. I keep saying Snap and Wedge Antilles kind of flip-flopped because I think they're a similar character for each respected trilogy. But right here, it's just cool, man. It's like this is probably before their big space battle that we see in the trailer later on. But we'll continue here.
Good people will fight.
Rose, Dominic Monaghan. And there's the shot for me. I'm going to go back. Right there. That's the Tantive 4. That's the ship that started it all. Star Wars started Episode 4. The first thing we see, space, yes. But then we see this ship fly past the screen, chased by a Star Destroyer, which is eventually captured in the tractor beam. And it is so cool to see this because this was Bail Organa's ship, father of Leia Organa, adopted father. And then he entrusted it to her with the Death Star plans. And it's just cool that we're going all the way back there. We're going back to the roots. Hopefully Leia pilots this thing or at least boards it. They can superimpose her to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if Wedge Antilles shows up and he's piloting this ship. But that kind of thing gets me really excited that they're going back and paying attention to the little details. Because this is a thing that I know in that first IMAX screening, people are going to go nuts when they see it. There's going to be cheers. So I'm so excited for that one.
People keep telling me they know me.
I love this.
No one does.
I love how intense she gets, I always love intense Rey. It's not talked about enough, but she gets so intense in these movies. She's always screaming and yelling, and it's just like she gets so into it. And I think a lot of times when we see Jedi, they're very poised and patience is talked about a lot. She just goes for it. She reminds me a lot of Luke. I know a lot of people give her crap. She's my favorite Star Wars character of all time. I just have a connection to the character, and it just hit me at the right time. But I do think that there's a lot of similarities to Luke that people don't give credit. So, anyways, we'll continue on here.
But I do.
I love Kylo too, but I think that shot right there, I think the dialogue is clearly not from this scene. It's going to be a more intimate scene. I don't even know if Rey saying these people, everybody says they know me, but nobody does. And then he says, but I do. I don't even know if those are from the same scene. They could just be cut together to give that effect. Although they're definitely fighting here. There's no chance they're not fighting here. I think that this is probably going to be in first or second act. I don't see this as the big fight. I don't see JJ giving that away. Whether that fight is with Matt Smith being a young Palpatine, so he's more limber, he can do these moves. He's fighting them both, perhaps. I think that's definitely possible. But I also think that this fight, Rey's probably going to beat Kylo. Maybe Kylo beats Rey. I hope not, but there's a chance. But I think this is going to be an epic fight. They've been teasing us with this for a long time. It's on all the posters. It's on, the collectible IMAX tickets and all that kind of stuff. And I know Daisy's talked about how much they rehearsed for this one. I've heard JJ tease that it's one of the best, biggest fights he's done for sure. And so this all gets me really hyped for this scene on the Death Star. But continuing on, so cool. And this shot right here, it's a lot.
Long have I waited.
Again, this right here, this throne, it's really cool because Ralph McQuarrie, the original artist, concept designer, everything for Star Wars, way back in the 70s, created this throne for Empire Strikes Back. The look of Star Wars is so unique, and it's all McQuarrie designs. Like, Star Wars wouldn't be around if it wasn't for George Lucas, but it wouldn't look like it does without McQuarrie. So I think that it's cool that they paid homage to him with his original Emperor throne sketch, because this is a cool piece. It's a cool looking throne. It's a throwback. It's using legacy stuff, and I don't see any complaints about this. It's a really cool design. How does it factor in? Where is it? Who knows? We'll find all that out. But for now, I'm just glad they threw stuff like that in there. It's just like every single part of this trailer, every frame is something I can pause on. But we have a Star Destroyer coming up out of the ground. Is this underwater? Perhaps. Actually, I don't think so. I saw a lightning bolt striking down. But I do think it's so cool. These have clearly been laying dormant for years. One would assume this looks like an Empire time Star Destroyer, so clearly Sheev Palpatine has been playing this out. He says as much in the trailer, but it's just cool to see these plans come into action. He has his sight is so downfield that we couldn't even anticipate this. Nobody could. And he's been waiting. How did he survive? Is he dead? Is he back? Is he in the flesh? Is he possessing someone? Who knows? But this is really cool, and I hope we see this as a whole fleet. Just imagine like 1,000 ships being rooted from the earth, not the earth, but, from the ground and just lifting off into space. It'd be really, really cool. This seems like a third act thing to me. And I also I have a thing for every time we see a straight-on shot of a Star Destroyer, I just want to frame it. It just looks so cool, There's so many details, and knowing that it all came from models originally, and the amount of work they put in, and that we got it to this point. Pretty crazy. But again, all these ships, we have the Falcon coming in, but they really have like every ship ever imagined is on screen. I'm not going to try and point them out here because there's just too many. I know that someone pointed out Hera's and Duelist ships here. We know Hera from Star Wars Rebels. Her ship made a cameo in Rogue One. She's been in this fight for a long time, still fighting the good fight, which is super cool to me. I just love that they're sprinkling in these things that, this shot is cool no matter what. You've only seen the films, never seen never read the books or the comics or the cartoons. This shot still works wonderfully, but all those little things sprinkled in makes it all that much more worth it if you put in the time to, read the extended materials. So that's really cool. But I want to go back just a little bit so we can get this good quote from good old Darth Palpatine. Darth Sidious.
You're coming together.
Love it.
Is your undoing.
And so he says that you're coming together will be your undoing, which is almost a companion to the opening dialogue of this trailer where Finn says, it's an instinct, a feeling. The Force brought us together. The Force brought us together. Finn and Rey. So I think it would be assumed that, the Emperor is talking about Kylo and Rey, because that's just like the obvious answer, and it's what I would put my money on. But as far as like what would blow me out of the water is if it is him talking about Finn and Rey. This has all been planned. He knew this was going to happen from the beginning. Being the tactician that he is, he knew that this was going to happen. And they think there's strength with them being together, but perhaps there's not. It also makes sense when you think about the Force. The Force always needs balance. So you have two dark side users, Master and Apprentice. You have Palpatine and you have Kylo Ren. On the other side, Luke's gone. Leia is not a Jedi. So who do we have? We have Rey. Who comes to her aid? Finn. It would be really cool. I think it'd be cool to see him pick up a lightsaber again as a Force user, being more of the student, Rey more of the master. Not necessarily saying she's a master yet, but she has had some years under her belt now, presumably under the teachings of a Force ghost Luke Skywalker, perhaps a Yoda, perhaps an Obi-Wan, and Leia in the flesh. So I think that stuff is really going to be fleshed out in the books, which will be a really cool read and a companion piece of the film. And I'll be reviewing those and reading the two big lead-up novels before the movie comes out, so you can catch that on the channel. But I think that it's just a cool theory. Finn, I really want Finn to wield the Force. And then we got Babu Frick. We got little homie right here, seemingly working on C-3PO. We know that he's putting in the disc that if you saw on StarWars.com, Star Wars Instagram, whatever you follow, they posted an official image of Zori Bliss, played by Kerry Russell. She's holding like a little disc, and it appears that's what is being installed in C-3PO. Maybe that makes him a killing machine, but I also have a theory that it's his old memories, perhaps, what was wiped at the end of Episode 3. He's saying, they say, "What are you doing?" He says, "Taking one last look." Here we go.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir,
Breaks my heart every time.
at my friends.
That kills me. But what if he's talking about he's got his memories back, and now he's like reliving the times of seeing Anakin and Obi-Wan for the last time, Padme, Bail Organa, whoever the case may be, for the last time, and then he tells us the story, like a condensed, quick version of the story of the prequels, which would be a direct tie, which is what I think we all want. So that'd be really cool. But, of course, right here, the theme kicks in, and we get, oh, man, I love this shot right here. Just going to, nothing like classic Star Wars, going down a corridor, and just, having war with some stormtroopers. We've seen it with Han and Chewie back in the day. That's some of the most magical Star Wars stuff to me. Seeing Episode 4 with like Han running, trying to make a diversion, just running down the whole corridor to a whole battalion of stormtroopers. So this is really cool, really emotional. Clearly, they're fighting for something to be running that fast. Chewie, Poe, and Finn. I'm excited to see Poe and Finn back together. This is just really exciting, We have Leia here.
Confronting fear. It's the destiny of a Jedi.
Nothing like a Finn woo. I love that.
Your destiny.
And there, that really is. This is a big moment for me personally. Hearing the way that Mark Hamill delivers these lines too. He says that facing fear is the destiny of the Jedi, your destiny. And I think there is a chance that there's more to this sound clip. Like it goes, confronting fear is the destiny of the Jedi. Your destiny is blank. I can see that happening, but it's cool to see Luke Skywalker back to his old self. The Luke Skywalker of old. The Luke Skywalker that a lot of people felt they missed in Episode 8, which I think was fine because sometimes you don't get what you want. Life doesn't always give you the cards that you'd like to have, which was the case with Luke Skywalker. But I do think that this is going to be making up for all the people who were upset over how Luke sort of handled himself in the majority of Episode 8. He's going to be that, optimistic, youthful Jedi who's just here to try and help the galaxy be a better place. He's going to be teaching Rey. He may be teaching Kylo. He may be teaching Finn. And this is, I know it's going to break me in the theater just hearing Luke and maybe Force Ghost Leia talking to Rey. It's cool. It's nice hearing Luke be optimistic about the Jedi Order once again. I love this. BB-8 is rolling. Anyone notice that? BB-8 is rolling. He got some boosters. He got the NOS in him. Check him out. Right? They're running on top of the Star Destroyer. Oh, another big shot. So that looks like it's Darth Vader's helmet. And it looks here like they're working together, which is interesting because I feel like whenever they work together, Kylo takes off his helmet. Like, I feel like it's just a given, like, oh, time to be good, take off the helmet. He's still wearing his helmet here. It just doesn't look like they're being confrontational to each other. I could be wrong. But Rey, also, if you look, she has a dagger in her other hand. What is that? Who knows? I've heard rumblings that it's something from Legends or canon. I'm actually not sure, but I think it's a cool shot. Clearly, she has a dagger for a reason. Perhaps Kylo's possessed by Palpatine here, and the only way to get him free is by using the dagger. Maybe you got to stab him. I don't know, but it's a cool shot. It definitely puts a lot of intrigue because why would they be cutting down Vader's helmet? I don't know. Maybe I'll make a whole video on that after this, but it's definitely one of the cooler shots. They definitely look like they're on a Star Destroyer or some Imperial site at very least. So great. This with all these lights flashing and everything in these last two shots, it looks like this could be the same place where all those Star Destroyers were being uprooted. It's stormy. Also, is this Palpatine right here? It looks like he's on some sort of life support. It looks like a dark cloak. I don't think it's Kylo Ren. Could it be a Matt Smith? I think that it is Palpatine. We don't know, but Rey still has, you can see she has her lightsaber on her belt. She has her blaster on her hip. She's not wielding them. So, what's the hesitation? What's the context? I don't know, but they gave us enough in this trailer to get us excited again without giving us any story, which I love. We have not gotten a story trailer. We don't have anyone talking dialogue between one another, and I am so cool with that because the more I can see in the film blind, the better. And I don't think I'm going to try not to watch the TV spots. I'm going to get off Instagram and Twitter and all of that so I don't get anything spoiled for me. But I do think that this shot is really cool. Where's Kylo Ren? What point of the film is this at? Who knows? But we're pretty much at the end.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
And of course, we end with Leia and Luke both talking to Rey, assumedly. And it's just nice, man. It's just really cool that we have Leia and Luke both, completing sentences, being brother and sister, being the tandem that we know them to be. I think that it was a shame they didn't get more screen time together, unfortunately, with Carrie's untimely passing, but the legacy lives on. As they say, the saga is ending, but the story lives forever. I do wholeheartedly believe that, and this trailer is it's exactly what I wanted. Is it the most epic? The music certainly is, but it doesn't give us away anything. It just says, here's some more shots. Here's the movie. It's coming out in 2 months. Tickets on sale. Boom, there you go. I've got a bunch of tickets already, trying to get more. But if you have any feelings that differ from mine, if they're the same as mine, whatever, I want to hear from you. Go ahead and comment under this, or you can find me at The Fan Awakens on Instagram. That's _fan_awakens. You can comment there. You can go to thefanawakens.com. I'll be posting a link to this video where you can like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be putting out a lot of content, not just Star Wars, all fandoms, mostly movies and TV, but Star Wars is my biggest passion, along with film and movies, and I just love talking movies. So just thank you for watching this. Thank you for listening. If you have anything to add, I always love to debate. Hit me in my DMs or whatever the case may be. Comment under a post. I'd love to hear your thoughts, hear your opinions, and have a nice debate in a positive way. So thanks once again. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.